comments from Coach?
Well, I think certainly the storyline of the game. We didn't make enough plays to win, and certainly with 4 turnovers in a game like this, it's awfully hard. And I think that honestly, we were in the game. I thought our defense played really well, and I thought it was led by Joe Schobert. Made some big plays and big moments. Offensively, we didn't we weren't good on third down, and the turnovers. I think all their points came off of our turnovers, and certainly we've got to be better in a lot of areas on offense and defensively. Like I said, I thought they gave us a chance to have a chance, and we didn't capitalize on it at the end.
Mike's on either side.
Coach, the turnover on the 1 yard line, did that kind of take air out of your guys? Was that kind of hard for them to overcome mentally?
Well, I mean, absolutely take some wind out of your sail, but I thought, guys, next one on the field, I thought they rose up to it, but absolutely, Joel got stepped on, and we still had a chance to recover it even when it was on the ground, and we didn't. But yeah, that obviously is a huge play in the game.
Back.
Several times it seemed like Joel Stabby couldn't feel the pressure coming from the blind side. Is that a problem that you can fix? Does it seem like you might not have an internal clock on him?
I think Joel's got a pretty good awareness of everything. He was getting around the sack fumble, the strip. He was getting ready to throw it, and we'll look at it and see. But as a whole, I thought Joel has played with pretty good awareness to the situation, and it's hard, when you're trying to, you need to make a play, and we've got to be better in a lot of areas. Not all on him, but certainly he'd be the first to take his responsibility in it, and just as I do and everyone, we need to be better. We can be better, but I don't know if it's like there's a flaw in his game that way. I wouldn't necessarily agree with that.
Paul, going back to the fumble on the goal line, you talk about details a lot. Is that kind of what you're saying there? Is that just a simple footwork mishap where that happens, or how does that happen?
Yeah, I just caught the tail end of the replay on it, and so you get everyone involved, and it's the foot coming back, and I didn't see that Joel took a step in, so like a false step type deal, and yet we still got to protect the ball, no matter what the situation is, and those are hard lessons to learn, but we got to protect the football, in all areas, and we obviously didn't do that today, and I think it had a huge part in the result of this game, obviously.
Paul, can you win games when you don't run for 100 yards and you average like 2.5 yards a carry?
I think it's really hard, especially if you're not good on third down in the pass game, and I think you have to. There's going to be games where you're going to win it running the football, and you've got to win it throwing the ball, and I didn't think we were consistent enough at either one today to really be as good as we need to be today.
Let's come back.
Coach, what's your level of concern with Hopvale in the kicking game right now? I think 4 misses already this season.
Yeah, and some of them have been, not easy. You're not talking about chip shots, and so I think he certainly gives us our best chance, and we've got to help him out. I think offensively, and he'll have his moments, and he'll make some big kicks for us throughout this season. There's no doubt in my mind. But clearly, it's not how he would want it, not what we do. But he'll be good, and he'll have his moments, and he'll rise up to him, I believe.
Jack, you mentioned bottom line is protect the ball on that goal line fumble.
I know it's a bang decision, but ideally, do you want the quarterback at least falling back and just eat it, and just go on to the next play there, or try to make that in?
No, I mean, you absolutely right now, you'd say you gotta hold on to it. If you can't get there, it's happened before. I've seen it on film, and he's made the exchange. But you have to take care of the football, and offensively, there's so many guys that are. Everyone has to own that, and certainly Joel was in on it right there. It truly is one of those where all 11 can take ownership of that. And today we weren't good enough and played a huge part in this game and the result not being what we wanted.
Jason?
Coach, how difficult did it make it on those last couple drives when you don't have Erickson and Traylor out there, two of your most consistent receiving threats?
No, you want to have all your guys if you can, and yet I thought, Reggie made a couple, made a big play, and Foom had a nice catch, and guys have to step in, and that's we're not unique in that area, and you always want your players playing, but that wasn't the case, and we've got to overcome that, and that's where I think we've got to grow and we've got to get better.
Rob, in the back.
Coach, many of the players on this team have been through this before. They've lost the Big Ten opener and still achieved their goal of getting to a conference championship game. What do you call on as a coaching staff and the leaders to lean on for this team? Obviously, with so much of the season to go.
There is. There's a ton of see. This is our first Big Ten game and didn't go the way we wanted. First guy that said something in the locker room afterwards was Joe Schobert, and said, "Hey, Coach, same thing happened to us last year, and like we've talked about, the end of the year, you'll get what you earn, and the thing we got to focus on, the opportunity that we have is this next week against Nebraska, and there is, the games like this, they hurt to lose, and we've got to take that pain and take the frustration, take the lessons, and that's got to help fuel us so that we get better."
Paul, you're pretty upset about the non-targeting call on the Fumagalli play near the goal line. Did you get an explanation? Did they see it and it wasn't, or did they say they did see anything?
The officials were good communicating to me, and obviously that's not something that once it happens, and we've been told that the officials will err on the side of player safety, and so that's all I'd say.
Back.
From what you've seen through the first 5 games of the season, is the running game issue a running back problem or a line problem?
I think it's everyone on offense, and we've had some times where and today I thought there were some good runs, but we haven't been consistent, and so I think we all have to own it, all want to own it, quite honestly.
Steve?
Do you expect this type of breakout from Joe Schobert at this point in the season, what he can do to get to this point to be so dominant?
I've been impressed with Joe, ever since I started watching tape of him, and then when you're around him, and there's a lot of guys that did some good things on defense, and I don't want to make this just about Joe. There was a lot of guys, and that's what's the great thing about this game is it's a team game, and then even if you take the units, and we're talking about the defensive unit right now, it takes everyone. And looking back specifically, I don't want to sound like I am not surprised. I think anytime you do it, that's what's great about competition is you have to do it and over. But for what Joe does, and I think the moments he does them it's really impressive. But it's he'd be the first one. My guess is the first one to admit it's all 11, and in many ways it's more than that. It's the group. But no, I'm not surprised because I think that he's earned the right to where you expect it a little bit.
Back.
In the second half, it played with the package with 2 fullbacks quite a bit. Did you see that open up the run game at all, or did their toughness open up the run game at all?
Well, I think that in games like this, there's times where you're trying to try to figure out what can get you into a rhythm. And I thought it gave us some things, and yet we didn't do enough to score enough points to win. But I thought that it did give us, it kind of sparked us on some plays, and you know, we gotta get better.
Is there any update on Alex Erickson?
He's going through the concussion protocol right now.
Anything else for Coach? All right,
Thank you.
thanks, Coach.